Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your patience. It's 9:03 and we're calling the meeting to order for June 17, 2025. Okay, approval of the minutes of Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
Also move.
Do I have a second?
You do.
Any questions? Motion moves and it's approved. Public comment. Anyone?
Let me see.
Just
Steve?
wanted to say, I think it's Scott's last.
Name,
Oh,
address. Thank
Steve Waite, PO Box 105, Cannon Beach, Oregon, 97110. Very good. It's Scott's last week, and I just want to say it was an honor to work with him on the Public Works Committee for the last 4 years, right, Scott? And
Absolutely.
so thank you very much. As a citizen, I appreciate your service.
I was going to thank the Public Works Committee. I had an education unbelievable with tours, presentations, the whole bit. And I feel like I graduated with a degree in Cannon Beach Dynamics.
Successfully
I learned
graduated.
everything, and I found Monica Court. It's a little teeny street off of Vicola with about 5 houses that are 2.5 million that'll never sell.
We'll see.
We'll see, but I mean, they're sitting there and, but anyway,
Everything sells in Cannon Beach.
but
Come on.
I've really worked, I have so enjoyed working with all of you. You're a great team, but we're gonna be traveling, and so I didn't think it was fair to, to do that, because the next year is gonna be a lot of family stuff.
And what was your biggest takeaway? Was it ghost flushing or?
Yeah, it was ghost flushing, but the seismic valve project was the thing that I'll be so glad when that's in, because it's going to protect us if we ever have that big quake.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to lose that huge tank of water.
It's a great benefit to the community.
And the big takeaway is the pristine water and air. We live in an absolute bubble, believe me. We should be blessed every day that we live in Cannon Beach. So, and then I'm gonna always be, and when I'm available, and if you need anything, you call on me, I'd love to help.
Don't worry, we'll be calling you.
Thank you I'm sure of that today. All right, Steve, but thank you for your words. I really appreciate
Thank you,
that.
guys.
I also had one other question for Karen. There was a crew putting in some fiber optic cable over the past year or so. Do you know where that project's at, and if that's going to be available to the public to sign up on anything? Or
It's a Spectrum project. That was their subcontractor, that all we know is what they give us in the right of way permit based on the work they're doing, but I have no idea the status of it, or if it's available to the public. You'd have to call Spectrum and inquire about it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Action items?
Well, I will digress a little bit. I wanted to wait till public comments were over before I did this. Scott, thank you for your time on the Public Works Committee. I think his highlight may have been the interviews when we were selecting our most qualified candidate to take on the water resilience.
Absolutely.
Your role in that was pivotal based on your past experience and what you know about our community and the project as a whole. So it was nice to have somebody from the committee sitting in and weighing in on that, and the community. So thank you for that. Amongst all the other projects that we've done, it's always a learning experience being on a committee, but when you can be on the Public Works Committee and really see what's going on with the infrastructure, it's an eye opener.
Right, we did an absolute fine tuning on that. I mean, we really went through, because it's such an important project.
It was a qualification-based bid. So that's why we went through the board panel type interviews, selecting the contractor. And I think we did a good job selecting the right person.
Yes.
It's paid off in dividends through this project.
Yeah, they had done that. They had the background, and they walked through it. They presented everything.
Yeah.
And the
It's
history.
really a top-notch firm for sure.
Yeah.
So thanks for your role on that, and many other things. Thanks for being my brainstorming guy and my confidant and all that kind of jazz. So a little something for you to take away from your experience being on the committee.
Oh, thank you.
So
Very good.
Something that you
Okay.
get to
Thank you.
keep over a lifetime. So
All
Thank
right,
you.
with Steve, yeah.
Thank you again. I appreciate it.
And I want to also, at this point, really thank Doug for all his wisdom and his guidance. And you're going to term out next month.
That's right. Next month's it.
Next month, so,
Great for him.
Yeah.
oh, good. Yes.
It's gonna be a quasi-military parade.
That would be cool though, that when you're going out, you have to help us find the next person to come in. So you better be out there recruiting. It's been put on
Yeah,
Facebook.
and
and-
She's gonna be it.
But it just doesn't stop there. You gotta. keep
No, I
going.
won't. I agree. And then Steve got, Jim. So you have two great ads.
Yeah,
And so, if you need to have me do a little fine tuning on anybody, let me know.
they gotta,
I'll think it
gotta
through.
take the cages out there in the village, and get some folks to step up. Because next month, when Doug terms out, we will be down to 3 members, and if someone were to call out, we wouldn't have a quorum to do a meeting, so we always are at risk when we're down that low on a committee.
Yes.
So, hopefully we'll get some applicants here over the next 30 days, can get that in front of the council, because they appoint the committee members, and, not be, kind of at risk running with just 3 people. So it's been a while since we've been down that low, but it's happened before. So,
Yeah.
rustle up your friends and neighbors and say, hey, come on. What you're saying, get the gloves on, get in the game.
Okay, here's a glove, get in the game.
Yeah,
Come on,
that's
come on.
it.
Add value. Don't get sit
That's
there
right.
on, don't be an armchair quarterback.
That's right. So again, thank you,
Okay.
Scott, very much. I
Thank you,
appreciate it.
guys.
Don't be a stranger.
No, in fact, until you find somebody, if you need, help, just,
Mhm.
always help on something.
Yeah. Well,
So,
when the tank starts being built, I'm sure you're gonna be curious. You're gonna wanna see, you're gonna want a tour, a guided tour up there.
Yes, absolutely. I would love it.
Yeah, good.
I would love it.
All right, so with that, update, we are, the only thing we have left to do on Haystack Heights is to move the hydrant from one side of, property, that gave us the easement to the other. And we will be finished. They're gonna do a little bit of seeding along the highway and button that up a little bit, from the work they did out there. But other than that, that initial phase is done. And so we will be looking at going to the second phase, which is East Chinook, to replace that line and add a hydrant, for that very back area of Haystack Heights, fire protection. So that we'll be looking at that next year. Water resiliency, I just mentioned that we're, doing an outage tomorrow to, tie in down at the area on Elk Creek Road. Things are going well. I'll knock on wood. Tappaney, the contractor that won the bid for this phase of the, project and the dirt work, has done an extraordinary job. Again, another top, notch contractor that really, their skill set is there, and they've been able to deal with everything that has, been pitched their way on this project. Phase 3, you already know the, status of that. Last month, we told you who got the bid on that, Emery and Sons. Just a little, interesting, factoid on that. There are 2 members that work for Emery and Sons that have family ties to Cannon Beach. So this will be kind of fun. In an indirect way, we have a local that is going to be working on a really critical part of our infrastructure, which is the build of the new tank. So that was kind of fun. In the, first kickoff meeting that we had, we recognized the last name, which is an unusual one. And I asked them if they were, related to the locals here, and they said they were. So,
Very good, yeah.
yeah, that was great. 3A phase, which is the backbone along the highway. I had some meetings last week with EPA, Oregon Emergency Management, and Business Oregon relative to some funding that they, have available that is not tied up in the lockdown of all the FEMA activity. The bucket of money comes from a different source. So I continue to chase, funding to be able to support that, phase of the project. See, what else do we have going on, Trev, that I'm not thinking about? Farmers Market's the first day today down by the old City Hall location. For all intents and purposes, it appears everything is, ready to go and gonna run smoothly. Despite the construction on the corner there, they've got everything secured with fencing and the sidewalks are clear for people to walk and cross the street and get to the farmer's market. And so we don't anticipate any issues with that. It'll be a minor inconvenience having all that activity going on, but it's inside the fence, so it shouldn't impact the farmer's market coming and going. So hopefully people are aware and their eyes paying attention when they're driving in the area, with lots of people being there on the corner, but happy to know that farmer's market could proceed.
We're over on manipulating a beach access on Umpqua today to get it off private property, or the trail, existing trail to the beach is on private property, so we're out there with machines manipulating the trail to get it off of
Shifting that
private
over.
property.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we are with everything right now, is things are definitely rolling. It's that time of year where it's dry and things really speed up, taking advantage of the dry season to be able to make good progress on our projects. Did you have a chance to finish those last spreadsheets on the road audit by chance? Okay,
Okay.
I just have that in my follow-up, so let me know anytime. It's good season to do that, so thank
We
you.
learned a lot with that project.
Perfect, yeah, we're staged and ready to go. I've already let the gal know that handles our GIS mapping, that we're gonna be wanting to load all that in there. She has the sheets that are done. And so once she's done, we're done with those last few sheets, she's gonna go ahead and start working on it all at once, so she can get it done and hand it off and finish. So looking forward to that. Some folks have asked me about the federal lawsuit concerning the hot hits out on the beach. And the city attorney is in discussions with the opposing party on a potential settlement agreement. Don't know the details of that, but when I know anything that I can share with you guys, I'll let you know. The good news here is I think we're moving in a positive direction. Hopefully it never sees the federal courts. We've given them lots of records and documentation to show the current condition of our wastewater plant, all of 9 of our pump stations, all the upgrades and improvements and enhancements we've done in the last 8 to 10 years. So I think that there's a growing confidence and maybe a relief on their part in some things that have been done that they were not aware that were done. Specifically, the Pacific pump station, they were concerned about the design of that originally, where they felt it was a potential choke point and how things flowed from that pump station to our actual plant. And that design was all changed back in 2017, and the project was completed in 2018. So that design no longer exists. So that concern they had is no longer even a viable concern, because it's not designed that way. And so I think there's been positive progress made. How that all shakes out, I really don't know. We still have a ways to go, but at least I think we're answering a lot of the concerns and misconceptions that they had about our infrastructure.
And I hope so, because that presentation that Trevor had, everything on the recycling
Yeah,
or the wastewater
yeah,
coming in was incredibly thorough.
Yeah.
As we spiral it,
Yeah.
and then hair, we have to burn.
right.
So they collect even hair and then burn that, but for a tourist place,
Yeah,
we're doing damn good, I think, as
Yeah.
far as trying to keep everything clean.
I think so too, and I would love the public to be able to be curious enough that they would want to understand how the system works, so
Oh, yeah.
that when they, just, I think naively, or just, not knowing, they carelessly flush something down the toilet, not understanding the ramifications of that as it goes through the system and ends up at our plant, or maybe it doesn't end up at the plant. It creates a log jam somewhere, like the flushable pipes. You'll see that every once in a while on our Facebook page and in our newsletter, where we remind people that flushable wipes really aren't flushable. And we've pleaded with
Yep.
folks to not use those down the sewer system. So it's just little things like that that can,
And the short-term rentals, it's, even if you have instructions, it all depends on
Exactly.
who's renting there.
yep.
So,
So that's pretty much it on the major projects. If there's something I've forgotten, you guys please ask me. Oh, the LED change out, that's done. I'll knock on wood. I haven't received any complaints. I've had some inquiries by two of our council members relative to the shrouds that used to be on the old head fixtures that directed light a little more specifically. The Pacific Power rep that oversaw that project has been out once already. She's going to be returning in a week or two to meet me in the evening and look at some of the lights. And anything that comes in as a concern for any of our residents or businesses that have housing above the business, we'll handle those on a case-by-case basis. It costs extra money for us to put shrouds on the new lights. They're not really the shrouds like the old ones are. They're pretty limited on how they can direct light. And so we want to do that in a purposeful way so that we don't expend costs that's not necessary. And so I've driven around 2 separate evenings, well after dark, for about an hour, hitting every single street in the town. I made a note of some lights that I felt could be a potential concern, and I've made her aware of that. So she'll look at those when she comes out. But until the residents raise their hand and say, hey, this is blinding me at night, we wouldn't take any action. So
good, and
so far,
cows,
so good.
I think cows is now.
Cows is up, and I was home with walking pneumonia a few weeks ago, and when it went off, I heard it inside the house with all my windows
So did
closed.
I.
So I texted Andy and said, I heard the moo again. So it's working great, and I'm way down in the south end of Tolovana,
If you're
so.
looking for a lot here, that's my introduction to cows. What the hell is that? I found out.
Yes,
Oh, good, good.
so anything that I forgot that you guys are curious about?
No.
Okay, we will be bringing you the master plan draft next month. There were some cost factors in there that were not complete. And I don't want to bring you the draft until it is complete. I was hoping to be able to do that, get Scott's input, but I'll recruit you to look at it even as a
Absolutely.
non-member. And then once you guys weigh in, give us any concerns, express some desired changes that you think are appropriate. Once that's all been rectified in the draft, we'll be taking it to council, and then it goes to OHA for the approval.
Okay, very
Now, that master plan will cover what? What's its scope?
So the master plan, this is an update to the existing one simply
Okay.
because we made so much progress. There's
Okay.
really not a lot left in the master plan. So Bruce had asked the engineering firm that's working on the water resiliency to update this master plan. So that's what they're doing. And really the focus is to continue our effort with getting full SCADA capability. That's an expensive transition. And so this is done in chunks, each year moving towards that. Obviously, any continued improvements that we're making overall in the infrastructure, but really it'll be focused around water, probably hydrant coverage and flows and things such as that.
This is sort of an update and amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember when I started 8 years ago, I don't know if it's just been created or whatever, but we were going over, it was like 4 volumes like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's still,
it's definitely one big master plan volume. The real difference here is between last time and this time is we were done with our master plan and the state put a hold saying, hey, everybody's got to add a SRAMP, the seismic resiliency. And so it held up that initial approval, and that's where that second volume came in. It was
Okay.
all relative to the focusing, hardening our infrastructure. Now we've checked that. And so shy of finishing our backbone along the highway, we have completed that entire SRAMP part of the master plan. And so hopefully we're able to finish that and call that a day, we're ready.
Who's
at
that
point.
submitted to at the state? Who's the top of the pyramid.
Oregon Health Authority is who actually signs off and approves our master plans.
Hmm,
Yeah.
okay, good.
And they're the ones that we have to provide all of our results to for the state relative to mandated testing, all of our water consumption and water loss numbers versus our demand numbers. So all that goes to the state. And for wastewater, it's DEQ.
Okay.
Department.
I was wondering
So
about
those
that.
two agencies are who the overseers of that aspect of our
Water is
infrastructure.
Oregon Health Authority,
Mhm.
wastewater is DEQ.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're also updating the wastewater master plans, and so those will be coming to you in the coming months. We've just started that, so we're barely maybe 25-30% into those. Those will come to you as well. And again, you'll see the reason for the update is that we've finished almost everything in our master plans. So it's time to put the next 20 years on the table. So
Got it.
we've made good progress.
And good luck on that lawsuit, because I think you should be getting a medal
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
being an outstanding, you know.
Yeah, this
citizen.
team has worked really hard, and I think as we've compiled the data for the attorneys, it really gives our team a chance to sit back and say, holy cow, we've really done a lot, you know?
A lot. yes.
And hats off to the leadership. None of that could have been done if the council and the city manager and finance director didn't support those dollars being spent for those projects. So we couldn't do it without the money. And with the money, you gotta have the manpower to do it. So it's been a good team effort all the way around.
Yep.
City has a lot to be proud of. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's where we are. Any questions?
Is there a schedule on fire hydrants? The Public Works, I guess, taken over the fire hydrants, right? So.
Yeah, so we are going to do the flow testing. There's a certain time of year that you want to do that. It is the dry season, but you also have to be sensitive to the amount of tourism and traffic and stuff because they're flowing water down the middle of the street. And so you want to do it at a certain time, certain pace. Also, you don't want to be flowing high volumes of water when we have the demand already on the system with high tourism. So there's definitely a sweet spot.
Yeah.
But we are going to be getting some contract help because we're down a body in water. And until we get that vacancy filled, we're running on a 2-man team right now. And so roads and wastewater is helping where needed and vice versa, as wastewater has things that they have to do for the lawsuit and to get the master plans ready, plus do their regular jobs. We're augmenting that with other public works employees. So we need to get a little steady on our feet, but that's gonna happen this year, no matter what. And we'll get some help from a contractor to come in and do it.
And I know Daniel left, but I mean, who else are we missing?
Well, we have a vacancy in wastewater that was added in this year's budget. They did a headcount resource evaluation on wastewater and public works and said 3 men cannot run this plant on their own with a 2-basin operation, all the lab work that's associated with that and the maintenance associated with that.
Oh,
And so we asked for additional headcount. And as you know, we're blending the water and wastewater, so they're learning each other's jobs and they're supporting each other on the on-call duty that they have. And so our long-term vision is that it's a 6-man crew helping in whichever respective department.
Okay.
But that takes some time to get people trained to where they can hold a phone after hours and know what to do when the alarm sounds that there's a system alarm or error somewhere, and they know how to react to that quickly. So we would never set somebody up to fail in a situation where they're not trained appropriately to cover a responsibility. So that takes time, but that's what we're working towards.
Good.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Hey, anything for good of the order? Anyone? Okay, I do have wildfire preparedness. There is a meeting- Seminar,
Yeah.
at the library, June 24th, from 5:30 to 7:30. And there's also a blood drive going on right now, starting at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
So if you want to donate blood, stop by the chamber. So.
That's a
That's all I
great seminar, by the way.
yes, and, okay, do you have other handouts or?
You can keep going. Yeah.
Okay, all right. make sure that I'm not.
And
Okay, all
send
right.
it to me if you want that on Facebook on the
I
city's
think I hate
page.
sharing.
Okay, good.
So perfect, yes. All right, if there's nothing else,